Let's talk about Frisbees. Okay, the big misconception with our Frisbees is that I need to throw this thing for the dog to want to play with it. Completely incorrect. I want the dog to understand this thing is a moving, animated object. Well before I ever want to actually throw the thing. Once you throw it, it stops. It's no longer fun. If you can get that thing to roll, the dog will chase it a little longer. Plus, think about the conditioning you've done with the ball. The ball rolls, it moves, it keeps moving. This stops. It's not as fun. So what you can do is you can move the thing around, you know, get the dog understand that this movement right here is fun. It's progressive. You know, this is a really progressive activity. You really get the dog access to become quite a little athlete for you. Engaging in some little agility notes. Come on, boy, come on. You know, he gets to enjoy a lot of good fun there too. As well as you want to let the dog actually grab it. You want to congratulate for having the Frisbee. You want to make this thing move though. If it's not moving, it's not fun. Is to go over some of the parts of rolling the Frisbee versus necessarily throwing it. Understand that when that Frisbee rolls, the dog's prey drive is engaged. As well as you start getting access to the dog engaging the Frisbee in a method that can get him to eventually bring it back to you. A dog like Louie, not necessarily a big Frisbee dog, but you can see I can stimulate that prey drive with him just by kind of moving around and rolling with him. He'll start to get a little stimulated with something a little more his size. Good boy. I've got both mine two out here today. This is a pretty fun one that I really like to do with a couple of dogs. If you've got a pair that really enjoy the Frisbee game, you get access to some really neat stuff when you got a dog who can enjoy something in flight. Some of the first things you want to kind of get accomplished with your dog is the prey drive stuff. Luring him between your legs is a really good method of the dog following your action and being able to stay tuned in to that Frisbee. You know, keeping that mindset going, doing some of the things you saw with Louie, getting him to jump up and over me really creates an obstacle out of my body, as well as, you know, making the tunnel out of my body, making him go under and over, you know, and I'm not moving. He is bouncing off my leg a little bit, so, you know, if you're a little older and you may not want the cuts and bruises like the youngsters want, you know, you might want to stick away from using your leg as the method. You can always take a broomstick handle, put it across a couple of shoe boxes or something like that, and really stay pretty minimal with it. You don't have to go out and buy big expensive stuff to enjoy your dogs. So one other method that I like to use is getting the dog to go in and around and then roll the Frisbee. His prey drive's already enticed by going in between your legs. That amplifies as soon as that Frisbee hits the ground. Once you start to kind of hit all of these notes, it gets pretty easy to eventually get your dog to chase something in flight. It doesn't always start this way. You know, the dog will certainly need to be conditioned to accept that Frisbee it does provide treats. It provides fun. It's a method of pursuit. You want him to kind of get used to all this, but it certainly doesn't happen immediately. It took Ainsley quite a while to learn the Frisbee. It's one of those things that you tune a little bit every day, and you get access to a pretty fun dog along the way as well. So one method that I really enjoy using to get my dogs to come and grab the Frisbee from me, as well as teaching the animal that they can catch it at an elevation. It doesn't necessarily have to be you know, on the ground or in flight. Or excuse me, he can catch it from elevation. Doesn't necessarily have to be rolling or stopped on the ground. You know, keeping your other dogs in check, creating a boundary with your body block so that they don't get injured. See how I corral them on this side so that when Ainsley runs here, they don't get hurt. So what I want to do is I can take this Frisbee behind me if I need to take the stimulant away, as well as take my hand down from the stop position or stay position to get the dog to do it. So one method that I'll use is that release, okay? Just to get her to understand she can jump and catch the Frisbee. You can really start to tease higher and higher elevations, as well as putting your leg in the way, anything like that. That's pretty cool for you. You can even have your buddy lay down on all fours and use him as a back jump. A lot of dogs will use that as a vault, and are pretty good at it. Hooli is a pretty good example of those things. You know, he does a couple of pretty cool things where he uses my body to jump off of. When he goes off me, you can see his feet will touch there to give him a slight bit of elevation, especially if I stop him and then let him think about it and then release him. He really uses it. So maybe not so much on the fly, but with my guided leadership, he'll do what he needs to do. All these things kind of show you what you need to see as far as the dog engaging something that I'm leading. All these things claim my leadership and give me access to my dog understanding a lot of pride, a lot of loyalty. All these things kind of go hand in hand with the dog enjoying itself, as well as me enjoying myself. You can see he even used my upper body to get to the Frisbee up high. I condition that with the leg. Same thing as him, you know, going up and off me. He starts to learn that he can maneuver his body just simply by doing the things he's done off my legs. You know, you get access to teach the dog how athletic he is, how athletic she is. Dogs are pretty capable, and by engaging them where they can understand that they have the power to get up and grab things 5-6 feet off the ground by using you as their support, you're also engaging a lot of elements that keep that bond really tight. You can understand ways that you can use this with you know, having your dog get up to something you can't necessarily reach, getting on the bed, using things like that. But getting the dog to jump off of you to get up there. All these things are just engaging the repetition. You're finding ways to use what you're learning in everyday life to keep it tuned. You'll really start to enjoy your pet. This is a huge detox on my day. Honestly, when you can go out and you can do something like this to exercise your pet and exercise yourself, you really get a nice, humble detoxing element out of the stressful days that you can endure during the week. You know, this is what pet ownership's all about: enjoying your pets, them enjoying you, as well as getting them the proper exercise they need will be your preventive maintenance on keeping these dogs calm, cool, collected, you know, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night. You can understand when you don't get out in that morning, that afternoon for 5-10 minutes even, when you don't get the dog to do a run, when you don't get them breathing heavy like this, you don't get access to that dog being tired when you get home. He's not going to want to eat his food. She's not going to want to be a part of the normal activities because they get frustrated, they get anxious. Only through interaction like this do they get really tuned in to the fact that they've worked that day, they've done something that day of some leadership too. They can really get the good vibes of feeling like they've gone and they've done and they've conquered and they've come home and the food's there and the love's there. You'll notice a lot of loyalty will spring from this kind of interaction. Some people will say, you know, I don't want to teach my dog tricks, I just want him to be obedient. Well, I think they go hand in hand. Honestly, the tricks make me want to work with my dog. Me wanting to work with my dog creates a better bond, which, you know, all the elements of dog ownership go hand in hand with, you know, us being bonded together and doing enough together that we can interact without a lot of clash. The more time you spend with your animal, obviously, you know, you guys get buddy, you get friendly, and that makes a lot of fun happen. Even outside of the tricks, that you can just get the best interaction with your pet from having them enjoy being around other animals, being around other people with other animals. Your social apt will certainly increase when you're able to exercise your dog in public. But enjoy your day. Definitely take your dog on a walk this afternoon. Enjoy having them around. These are our animals to keep us happy. Man's best friend, right? As far as the women go, you know, they're going to be messing with your kids and everything like that, but we got to keep them tuned into you. if you can get a nice active lifestyle together, or even doing some of the maintain techniques where we're sitting still, stationary exercise, you're still getting access to all these leadership elements. Just because they're not going after the Frisbee immediately, bring the tennis balls. You know, have multiple avenues to exercise your pet, not necessarily one variable at a time. All right, well, enjoy your afternoon. This has been Exercising My Pet. I'm Brad Rogerson.